So today, Gordon is going to do a really helpful video for us all about using OneNote and how he and I organize all of our travel information. He even does it with his packing list. Just so much to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Like I said, today Gordon is going to talk to you all about using OneNote. And with that, like I said, we use it for our travel itineraries and all of the information that we have. He also uses it for his packing lists. I should get on board and use it with my packing list as well. We make notes while we are on our trip, things to help us have a better time next time, and all of these helpful things. He's going to give you some quick tips on how to copy current pages and make new ones, how to edit and adjust things, how we use the highlighting, and just lots of other things that go into using it as kind of planning central for going on a cruise or whatever travel that you're going to do. So I also want to remind you, in connection with that, on our we're going to plan for this video to be an excellent resource for a long time here on our channel, but also I'll refer you on Monday night. Gordon is going to do the live. I'll be out of town and busy with our family, and he is going to answer questions about technical things that you want to know about for traveling and for cruising, and your OneNote questions and lots of other things he is happy to help with and make it so that you can all get the answers that you need to be able to use it smoothly in your life. So I'll turn the time to Gordon now.
Hi there, this is Gordon from Let's Go Travel Tips. And so today I wanted to tell you quite a bit about how I use OneNote, which is a Microsoft product. And it's available for Macintosh, it's available for your iPhone, your iPad, it's available for Windows, of course. It's available online on just logging in on the web and so on. So here I'm going to show you today how I use it on the Macintosh. This is on an iMac, but I also use it extensively on my Windows desktop computer and my iPhone and my iPad, so that I can update it when I am not at home. And so you'll see here just a blank screen, and mostly I'm going to talk about how I use it to show itineraries and packing. So if we think about one of the cruises we recently went on earlier this year, this is the Vloggers Cruise. I'll put in all kinds of information, which I usually will just copy and paste from the website of the cruise company, just so I don't make typographical errors. Copy and paste, or I'll type in flight information. So here you see here's my booking number for the cruise, and here's the ship and our stateroom, and questions that I'll write down as I'm typing them through in. Then I get the hotel and what days we get there, and I include phone numbers and addresses so I can quickly copy and paste just from one location. I don't have to re-find it on the map or look in the Hilton app again, or whatever, my hotel app, so I don't have to do that again. It's all in one location. I'll get my confirmation number for my flights, and again I copy and paste that so I don't make any errors. The flight numbers and so on. Got to remember to get a reserve parking at the airport, so that I don't end up with that being full and not have a place to park. So we stayed at a couple of different hotels. So I've got both of that information, and any items that we want to do, we rented a car, and I figure out where I get to return it, and just by typing it down, sometimes that solidifies it in my mind, so I really don't have to refer back to it. It's now in my mind, but at the same time, if I do forget, there it is. So and then I put the itinerary, and I can highlight in colors, so then I can quickly look and see. I put in sometimes different itineraries of excursions of what we're going to do, and thoughts that we've had where, okay, we want to do this one maybe, and then we decide not to, and rather than just delete it and not have a record of it, I'll just use a strikeout font. so that then it's still there in case I ever think about, oh, gee, maybe I want to do that. And then I'll look at it and say, oh, no, we already made that decision that that was not something we wanted to do. And then at the bottom, these are notes that I took while we were on the cruise. Here's one that I need to remember for next time we go on a Caribbean cruise. And my beach shoes, they're really good for walking. So I don't need to worry about carrying an extra pair of shoes. I can actually walk in the beach shoes that I've got. And if we look back to some of the other cruises, like what we took about a year ago, again, this was very, very quickly done, so it doesn't have a lot of detail. But then we get into the Love Boat cruise and notes that, again, that I made. I got to bring name tags and these. So you can go back in and I can look at detailed notes of places that we've been. And if somebody asks me a question, well, where did you stay? Well, here it is. Here's the hotel I stayed at. And I've got these going back. So here's our first cruise in Alaska. Well, I didn't really do a whole lot. This was more of a packing list than anything. But we'd never done it before. And there's some notes that I took while we were there, and things that what to do in London and places we want to visit. Here's our 2016 Scandinavian cruise. And again, the itinerary of what we did. We rented a car for the first day there, and then I made notes that we needed to get the Copenhagen card in order to save some money. And then we talked about what we wanted to do in each day. And I didn't even on this one have the dates put out, but then I knew as we were going through where we were going to be. We thought about a Caribbean cruise and never went on it in 2017. Mediterranean cruise we took in 2019. So again, here's the flights and our accommodations. I don't have the booking number and I don't have the stateroom, but that didn't matter at the time. But I even went into some detail as to thinking ahead of time, well, what do I want to wear on that day? As we were going to be going to the Vatican, well, I had to have long pants because you don't want to wear shorts into the Vatican. It's a sacred place. Different things that I remembered as we were doing these cruises and how we wanted to get places, and again, what I wanted to wear and where we were, that we did the sanctuary in the afternoon. And again, at the very bottom, as we were on the cruise, I would write down notes. Here's some thoughts post-cruise. Make sure we do this next time. The laundry pods worked great. And that's the Tide pods. And I even still had some tokens left. Okay, and only need to have one swimsuit. And don't buy so many souvenirs. And here's contact of people that we wanted to see. Our Antarctic cruise. Here's the clothing that we took. Here's the itinerary for the cruise itself. So that's how I use the information. So I've got pretty much even the cruises that we've got, like here's the river cruise we just did, and here's our upcoming group cruise, other upcoming group cruises, and I'll show you in another one how to create a new one, but normally I'll just copy and paste it. So let me go to the packing list, and I'll show you how that's done. And I use these. This will show you what I wore, things that I wanted to make sure I was going to have. And again, I will block out stuff that I don't really care about or decide that I don't need to use. We went on the 3 Florida cruises back in November, and here's the list of stuff that we had. And I even had notes on how to set my phone so that I didn't catch the roaming on the ship. And again, things that I blocked out, and I'll highlight. So here's this latest cruise, but I'll highlight things that I've got to remember to get at the last minute. On the Vloggers cruise, we got to make sure, do I get more cash, and I get my hats? Did I print the luggage tags? So you just right mouse click on it and copy what we've got here. So now I've got a copy of it, and then I paste that. So here's 2 copies of it. Well, I'll go to the second copy, the new copy, and I'll change it. And no longer is it the Avalon cruise, but it's going to be the Holland America Alaska group cruise. And this will be in May and June of this year. And so I can go through now and adjust this and say, well, it's going to be colder, so I've got to make sure I've got my windbreaker and I've got my hat. And definitely on the river cruise, we didn't take a swimming suit. But now I want to make sure I bring a swimming suit. I go ahead and highlight that one and make sure that that's available. Another thing to do, see how these are all checked. Well, I need to clear those check marks. And so you just highlight, then you go up here, and now I've got empty check boxes. Do the same thing here. You can do the entire thing all at once, but I just wanted you to see how I do it. And now I've got a fresh copy ready to go. And as I go through, I can look and say, okay, here's information of what I want to bring, an umbrella and a hat and a sweatshirt and a windbreaker. In fact, I'm going to break this one out because before I just needed one, but now I'm going to need more. And so I'm going to get and add in more so that I've got, and I still question some things and go through. I got my CPAP and webcams. Am I going to need those? I'm not sure, but I'm going to unblock those. In fact, I can go through a whole bunch at one time and change that so that they're all unblocked. Laptops, extra money for tips, what I want to wear, and I'll change the number and say, well, this is a shorter trip. I'm okay with just one pair. And yes, I do want to bring a sport coat and ties for the formal nights. And definitely, I'll highlight this because I got to make sure I bring my polo shirt that you guys know who I am. In fact, I've got 2 of them, so I'm going to bring them both. And I've got to bring some Let's Go t-shirts, so I better write that one down too. So I could just copy this. And paste that and change that. So now I make sure that I've got the t-shirts. The nice thing about this is, okay, so here I'm making these changes, and I'll pop up a copy of this from my phone here in a minute, but now this all shows up in my phone so that when I'm maybe upstairs and I've got the list that I've done, I don't want to bring my laptop up and fiddle with it. I'm just going to go ahead and open up my phone, and I can start to pack stuff, and I can get stuff out of the closet, and I can start to check stuff off. And so as I check it off upstairs on the phone, then it becomes checked off other places here. And so when I log in again, I can see that things have been checked off. So that's the wonderful thing. Again, at the end of the cruise, I'll make some notes as to what it was that I wanted to make sure I remembered. Here's some last minute stuff, and I was doing that and highlighting it. But after we went on a cruise one time, I need to make sure, again, back on the itinerary, at the bottom I'll put down, hey, don't forget this from the last cruise, because I didn't do it on this one, but I want to make sure, here's my post-cruise notes. Write down different hotels and different gardens that we missed or that we want to see next time. And as we visit with people, some things that they tell us, check out this hotel in the middle of Athens that was recommended. This is the way I use OneNote. This is how it works for me. And it works beautifully. I'm able to just go through and have all the information that I need. You can see what excursions we're going to be booked on the upcoming cruise. Here's some notes. This is from the website. Again, I copy and paste so I don't make any mistakes in retyping stuff. As I go through my packing list, I make sure that everything that I needed is here and ready to go so I don't miss it. I have packing lists back through 2016. In fact, again, my itineraries, I can go back and see what the notes were for different places that we went. Again, that's more of a packing list, but then I started to get into, okay, here's the itinerary. So it's been going on for about 5 years now, and here's all the places we wanted to see. I can tell you what the excursion was that we took and where we went and how much it cost simply by writing down a few notes. And when we disembarked and we went on a little trip around Wales and the information there. So not that I'm consciously making a journal, but by making all these notes, it becomes a journal, and it becomes the fact of everything else that we've done, so that I can turn around and look at it again, and how did we do that before, and how are we going to do it this time? So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.
Alrighty, thank you so very much for joining us. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. We really need you with us. And if you appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.